Hello, my name is Michelle.
My name is Lewis.
Welcome to BBC News School Report.
At Slough Grammar School.
To start off with, we have the story of a 12-year-old girl who died in her PE lesson.
We pass it on to Cameron and Suleiman with the full report.
On the 12th of March, a tragic incident occurred, where a 12-year-old girl named Travelyn Jocelyn was killed when she fell off a pommel horse in a PE lesson. Whilst jumping over the apparatus, her foot got caught, and she landed headfirst onto the safety mat, knocking her unconscious.
Paramedics arrived at the scene and resuscitated her after her heart had stopped. She was taken to a hospital where she lay in a critical condition for a week, where she died.
Back to the studio.
We now pass on to Ellie to discuss the health and safety precautions in this school with Mr. Murdoch from the PE department.
We have got Mr. Murdoch here. He's a teacher of PE in Slough Grammar School who uses the pommel horse and other gym equipment in his PE lessons. We know that you're aware of the situation with Trevin Johnson, and we would just like to ask you a few questions. What safety precautions do you take in your PE lessons when using this gym equipment?
I think what we try and do in gymnastics is make sure that we have enough safety mats around pommel horses and bolts and things like that. And we'll often try and use crash mats because they'll be a bit thicker, and should anyone have an accident, that will break their fall. What we also try and do is, if possible, have more than one PE teacher, so that students can be supported from both sides. And I think it's important that we train students in how to support people in gymnastics events as well.
Okay, thank you. And do you think more teachers should have first aid qualifications?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think we never want to get to the stage where we don't try things, whether it's in a PE lesson or anything, and of course there can be risks associated with everything. But we don't ever want to get to the stage where we don't try these things, but it's always nice to be able to know how to deal with it should anything happen.
And what would you do if a child in your class had an accident as severe as this?
Well, I think what we would do is go and get one of our first aiders, and always treat everything as a serious incident. So if we have to phone ambulances or whatever it may be, we make sure that we do that straight away. That takes priority over everything else.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Back to the studio.
Now we pass it on to Gavin, who will talk about the recent issues of doctors prescribing placebos.
Are your doctors treating you properly? That is the question being asked by a recent independent study. 97% of 783 GPs asked openly admitted to having given patients sugar pills or drug unrelated to the ailment that was being suffered. The PLOS1 study authors are reported to say that placebos are not necessarily a bad thing, as placebos can be just as effective as the other treatment. Placebos work by tricking your brain into actually thinking that you're being treated when it isn't. This creates a psychological effect, making you feel better, but it's not actually curing you. 1 in 10 of these GPs admitted to having given patients sugar pills or injections of salty water instead of actual medicines, with 1 in 100 admitting to doing this once a week. One of the hugest problems faced is that antibiotics given to people may be granting immunity to medicines, to bacteria we may not know are there. This may be contributing to the fabled superbugs that are immune to almost all antibiotics. One of the reasons, however, GPs are doing this is that the patients are coming to them with viruses that cannot be cured by normal drugs. So they give them placebos so they feel better whilst their bodies fight off infection.
We now pass on to Mr. Sohn, the head of biology, who shares his thoughts on this story.
Okay, so thank you for letting us ask you these questions. Firstly, what do you think? How effective do you think the placebos are?
It's interesting actually, because in some drug trials, the placebos actually do seem to have some sort of effect, almost like a sort of psychological effect, yeah. Because the patients actually think they're taking the actual drug, don't they? So that is quite interesting. So psychology obviously plays a part in patients recovering from a particular condition.
Next, are you worried about whether your doctor is giving you placebo drugs?
Oh gosh, that's a very good question. I wouldn't have thought that doctors would give you placebos for treatment for You know, just normally, if you go to the doctors for a particular illness or a particular condition, you say, oh, you know, my throat hurts or something, and they wouldn't give you placebo then, would they?
What are your thoughts on the fact that some of these placebos are actually antibiotics and maybe actually granting immunity to medicines in certain microorganisms?
That's bad, isn't it? That's even worse, because it means that you are encouraging. It means there's more chance of some of those pathogens becoming resistant to antibiotics, and then the disease is more difficult to treat, isn't it? So yeah, I don't think that's a good thing.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Jack, and Gavin, and Michelle.
Over to Navrupa Krupa, who covered the story of Slough Grammar School's success.
We are here at Slough Grammar School to find out what makes this school so great. Last year, Slough Grammar School was the 10th most subscribed school in England and Wales. Over 11 people subscribed for one place at Slough Grammar School. Over to Krupa, more on this story.
Thank you, Navru. Here I am with Mr. Guidus, who is a very long-serving teacher at Slough Grammar School. Mr. Guidus, thank you for your time.
I thought you were going to say old teacher.
Oh.
But pleasure. My pleasure.
We're here to talk to you about why you think Slough Grammar is really appealing to people, as last year it was said to be the 10th most subscribable school in the whole of England and Wales. So why do you think it's so appealing to people?
Well, I think the main reason is Slough Grammar School is really like the real world. If you look at other schools, they tend to have large ethnic groups, but not such a mixture of ethnic groups. Now, if you go outside into the real wide world, there's so many different kinds of ethnic groups: Sikhs, Muslims, Hindus, Christians, Muslims. And in this school, ever since it started to become really mixed in about 1980, people of all backgrounds have always got on with each other. And I even heard recently somebody coming down from the north, where there was a large, for instance, Asian community, said that in Slough, it's amazing. Sikhs can talk to Muslims, and Muslims can talk to Hindus, and everybody talks, you know, the Asians talk with the white people, and so on. And he said you couldn't do that up north. So I think it's also a fact that we live in Slough, but this school has always been a very, very friendly school. And when people come into the school, when people were very much in the minority, they were accepted for what they are, and that's just continued over the years. So I'm not surprised that Slough Grammar School is an oversubscribed school. The other reason would be that we really concentrate on educating pupils. We have traditionally not looked so carefully as have the people really done well in the 11 plus. We've accepted all people that are intelligent, even to a degree. So that's my best answer on that question.
Now to Gory and Brandon, who discussed the recent success of Comic Relief.
Comic Relief is a major charity based in the United Kingdom, which attempt to achieve a world free of poverty. They don't stop and work 365 days a year to help this dream become a reality.
Once again, Comic Relief has surpassed everyone's expectations by breaking last year's record of an absolutely astonishing £67,977,824.
Their mission is to create a positive change through the means of entertainment. This has been taking place since 1985, and every year they do not fail to raise a groundbreaking amount of money. This year, Comic Relief have raised £75,107,851 and still counting.
They do this through two big fundraising campaigns, Red Nose Day and Sport Relief, and with the help of celebrities like Jessie J, who shaved her head, and Tiny Temper, who had committed to do press-ups over raw eggs.
They do this to help the people less fortunate in the UK and in Africa. They help the homeless by accommodating with shelters and providing meals to the hungry. They help people with special needs and diseases. Slough Grammar School has been a big help to Comic Relief, donating almost over £1,000 each year. Thank you. Back to the studio.
And now on to the weather with Mina.
Hello, welcome to BBC Weather. It's been a frosty start to the day, but there will be some bright intervals in easterly areas, otherwise mainly cloudy. There will be odd spot of rain in Hampshire as the clouds will thicken, but there will be a bit of south-easterly wind going due northwards. The good news is it should stay dry for us in the south-east of England, and there will be blue skies and sunshine. Mind you, it will stay cold for the end of March, as there will be winds. Temperatures range between 2 degrees Celsius and 7 degrees Celsius. Bad news is there will be some rain in Northern Ireland, Wales and southwest England, as there will be some front of rainfall. The outlook is for snow in Scotland and Highlands. Tonight it will be cold with outbreaks of rain from the far west. It will be heavy in precision and will go through all areas by the morning. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Mina.
We hope you have enjoyed SGS's news bulletin for BBC School Report.
1.